there, I'm Ben from Keswick Youth, and this is just a quick video for parents, carers, pastors, youth workers about Monday's sessions. Like you, we are in Psalm 2, looking at how we have hope because Jesus reigns. What we're going to do with our morning sessions is they will be split into, the talk will be split into two sections. In the evening the talk will be in kind of one section, but in the morning it's in two sections. And on Monday, Elfie Atchison, who leads the Youth Work Week 1 alongside her husband Andy, is going to be speaking to us. And she's going to be speaking to us from Psalm 2. She'll also be dipping into Psalm 1, as together they kind of form the really the gateway to the rest of the Psalms. To help young people engage with that, we've got some sheets online that you can print out. You'll see there are two kind of age ranges of sheet. The first aimed really at 11 to kind of 13, 14-year-olds, and then the second with a bit more space for the older ones. We haven't put age ranges on those sheets, so you can print them and use them as you kind of see fit and give them to young people as they would enjoy them and make best use of them. I think with Psalm 1 and 2, I think that the kind of key things that we're going to be focusing on is that blessing doesn't come from kind of materially what's around us, but on delighting in God's word, Psalm 1, and then trusting in God's King, Psalm 2. And what we're going to see is that those two things kind of, well, they kind of encourage one another in a kind of positive spiral. As we delight in God's word all the more, we'll be drawn to trust in God's King, Jesus, all the more. And as we trust all the more in Jesus, then we'll find ourselves delighting in God's word. There are some questions as well online that you can print off and use. It would be really easy to be kind of quite legalistic about this, or even kind of batter our young people around the head about how they're doing in their daily Bible reading. And so if I can encourage you, let's not be kind of legalistic, but rather let's look at how is it that you delight in God's word, and if you can share about the ways in which you have been moved by seeing Jesus in the scriptures, that'll be really helpful for young people and enthuse them in reading God's word for themselves. In the evening we're going to have Graham Albans, who normally heads up week 2 alongside Kaz Evans, and he's going to be speaking about how Jesus is King, hope because Jesus rules. He's going to talk about how Jesus rules all things at all times in all places, and how that's both a comfort for us and it's also slightly uncomfortable. Comfort if we know him, uncomfortable if we're rebelling against him. In the evenings we're not going to create quite the same resources. What we'll have is some slightly more stripped down notes for older ones so that they can make notes on the talk, which is in one section. And we're also each evening going to be creating a bingo card. So if you've got younger ones, it's a great way for them to kind of follow along, listen out for certain words. Again, there's a link to that. If you click on the link, it will generate a new card for every time you kind of click on there. So it'll be different. So you could listen along as well if you're tuning in with your young people, and that would be a great way to do it. So that's Monday for Keswick Youth, and I'm really excited about it. Thanks, see you tomorrow.